Hello there and welcome to the next lesson. Now in the previous one we've made quite a few transitions. If I move the artboards like so and then just make sure that you click anywhere outside the artboards, and you also have to press X if you don't see those blue lines, and if you do, you'll see that we have multiple transitions from each artboard. So we have one transition going backward and one going forward. And now let's shift click on the names of the artboard to select them all, and let's use the alignment options to position them to the top like this. Now I'd like to deal with the header animation. So let's select the header from second and third artboard and let's cut them out and paste right there on the first artboard. I want to position it so that we have the names below each other. Let's copy and paste Ferrari and position like so. And now I want to group them all together. So let's select the layers and make a group. This is headers group. And I want to mask it out. So let's press R for rectangle and create the shape that will be our mask for the name. And this rectangle will be below headers, and I want to make it mask. Let's right click on this layer and create a mask out of it. And let's just make sure that we won't affect anything that's inside car details with this mask. So let's select headers and mask, and let's group them all together once more. So this is mask group. Okay, now let's go to mask and let's disable the fill. And now we can select headers group and we can change the position of this group to reveal different names of the cars. So what I'll do is select this mask group and copy it and paste it to the second artboard and move it so that I have BMW M4 as the header here. And also let's move it to Ferrari. I want to copy the group and paste it here and change the position of the layers so we have Ferrari here. So let's now check out the first animation. Let's go to home and this swipe left. Let's edit the timeline and let's preview that in 20% and let's loop it. So it blends, but it doesn't really work as expected. And this is simply because we don't have those mask groups linked together. So let's try auto-linking. I can select them and link them, but let's first try auto-linking. And now let's preview that. And now it works really great. So all we need to do is go to those different transitions that we've created, and probably we'll have to auto-link the layers. So let's edit the timeline here. And let's auto-link the layers and let's play this. It works. Now for the next transition, let's edit the timeline, let's auto-link the layers, and let's preview that. Okay, oh, this is a back transition. Okay, it doesn't really matter because we still have to do it for all the transitions here. So let's auto-link. Now for this screen, we need to edit this timeline and link the layers together, and we need to edit this as well. So now if we check out the preview, we'll be able to go from Hurricane to M4, and also we can go back to Hurricane and it works. So from M4 to Ferrari and from Ferrari to M4. And if we want to go from Ferrari to Lamborghini, well, there's a little glitch. We have to go through the M4 as well, but I think it's pretty cool. It's okay. I think we can leave it like so. And also, if we want to go back from Hurricane to Ferrari, we also have the M4, but it's still fine. I think it's okay. Now, let's go back and let's create the animation for the details that we see here. And for those details, I want to have a similar animation that I've done to the cars, but I want this kind of a parallax effect so that I'll create different timing for those animations. So let's first select the details from Hurricane and let's copy and paste them onto the M4. Now let's move them to the left-hand side. Let's lock the M4 and let's move them here, as well as let's change the opacity to 0 maybe, and also let's copy details too and paste them here and move them. We need to lock the Lamborghini and move them to the right-hand side, and also change the opacity to 0. Now, if we create this transition, let's check out the transition that we have. We should have those layers, details 1 and details 2, but they are not linked together. and we want to link them together. Let's try the auto link layers. It seems it worked out fine. Let's preview the animation, and yeah, it looks great. Now let's pause it, and for this parallax effect, so that we don't have the exact the same timing for both elements, I want to select details 1 and details 2 and offset this animation just a few frames like this. Now you'll see that those animations, they don't happen in the exactly same time, and I think it looks so much better. So let's pause this animation, and what you can tweak here is maybe the easing of the cars. I don't know, you can, for example, have a bit of the bounce at the end of the animation, but I think it's still fine, and just feel free to experiment with it. And now what we have to do is just copy and paste those details all over the place like we did with the cars. So for the second screen, we need to have details 1 and 2, but also the third ones. So let's copy from Ferrari, and they have to be positioned there, and also let's change the opacity to 0. And then we also have to go to Ferrari and copy both details 1 and 2. So let's first copy the second details and paste them here. We need to position the details. Okay, let's lock Ferrari. Let's move the details to the left-hand side. Those are the details of BMW, so they need to stay to the left next to the BMW. And details 1 from Lamborghini, let's copy and paste them, as well as let's move them to the right-hand side and change the opacity. Okay, I think that we are almost done. We also need the details of Ferrari, so details 3, and we need to put them here in the first artboard and make them appear from the left-hand side, and also make the opacity back to 0. Let's save it, and now we can preview our prototype. So let's check it out. We have Lamborghini, let's go to BMW, and from there we can go to Ferrari, and also we can go backwards to BMW and Lamborghini. If you want to go to the left, you'll go to Ferrari, and to the right, you go to Hurricane, so it all works as expected. Please bear in mind that there are many things that can go wrong with this prototype, and me, myself, I've made many mistakes before I've recorded this lesson, so don't worry, just take your time, and yeah, you can always set the opacity wrong, you can forget about opacity, or you can position the item to the left instead of the right, and then it will break. So please experiment with it, but also remember that you have all the source files ready and waiting for you to explore. So the source files for this lesson is, this is number 13, you can always check that out and start from there. Well, I keep my fingers crossed, and I see you in the next lesson.